Well, hello, my darlings, my darlings. I am so glad to be back chatting with you this week. I'm sorry I had a little over a week off. I had a very challenging sinus infection. I don't know. There's always something, darlings, lately. If it's not the bloody sinuses, it's, something else. I feel like I'm caught up in a whirlwind. Are you feeling that way too? Make some comments below. Give me a little bit of a, oh, uplifting. We all need some uplifting moments or uplifting times, don't we? And while I'm talking to you, darlings, I'm going to get the cards out. It probably won't be a long reading today. I'm very, very challenged at the moment. But first of all, I want to thank you all, from the bottom of my heart, because you keep me going. The reason I'm back is because of you. I think at the moment, if it wasn't for you, well, no, I know that if it wasn't for you at the moment, I'd be having some time off and I'd be, stepping back from all this for a bit of a time, because life around me is very, 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 very challenging, to say the least. What's that card here, darlings? I'm going to leave it there because it's really relative. Five of Cups. I'm going to leave it there while I shuffle the cards. Now, first of all, before we get into today's topic, I just want to say that I'm here for you because you bring me back. Your energies and your caring and your love of me and my love for you brings me back here. Does that sound a bit mushy? Well, I'm probably feeling a little bit mushy over it, but that brings me back. It brings me back into doing the videos because, quite frankly, as I said, I wanted to, I'm chewing a lolly, I really wanted to, I wanted to step back for a while. I wanted to take some time off. But you know what it's like in life when you do something and you've built something and you put so much damn effort and everything into it, and you really love your people and you really love the whole thing. It's a bit of a juggle because, as you can see, in the room, things have changed around a bit. I had to move a few things around, and in fact, you can't see it, but most of the room has been packed up. It's got empty shelves, and it's feeling very bare. Almost all the stuff is off the wall, except up on the wall here. I don't think you can see it. No, I can't get it, but I will when I get it down. I'll show it to you. But up on the wall here on my right hand side is a really, really beautiful, it's not a painting, it's done with pastels, and it was by a lady called Deborah Pazet. It just reminded me I wanted to find her. In 1997 she did this for me, and it's me and my power animals, which my power animal's a leopard. So, bit of chattering on today, isn't it? My power animal is a leopard, and she had never met me, and she did a meditation, and she lived in the hills in South Australia. And we went. My sister and I finished up going over there, but we went over there and to pick this picture up. And it actually, I'll tell you the story one day because very, very interesting. I picked the picture up. It was a bit overwhelming for me, this picture at the time. And it went out of my hands for 2 years. But I'll tell you that story one day. Very, very fascinating. And then it came back into my hands again. And great story, great story. And I always have it, pardon me, hanging in my office, because it's my It's me and the wise woman sitting over top, and she'd never met me, and she meditated and saw me and this leopard in her meditation. And she lived, as I said, in South Australia, and she lived right at the foothills of some big hills and that, and peregrine falcons nested in there. It's the most beautiful spot. I went over and picked up the picture. Okay, I would like to show it to you, but when I bring it down, I'll see if I can set it up somewhere where maybe you could see it. Maybe I'll put it on the window here next week as a backdrop or something when I take it off the walls. But the walls, except for that picture and a couple of little bits here, and I've left these up here, the room's fairly empty because we're on the home run for, I think we'll be moving in about 6 or 7 weeks. It'll be in, we'll be moving out of this house on the 20th of November. We'll be moving, and whilst that might seem like a bit of a way away, there's work being done on the other house, and there's stuff to be done here. And there's been a whole lot of ugliness and things going on around me, which have been going on for a while. And but anyway, we won't talk about all that because I really, really want to be uplifting and positive. And I think the whole thing around the sinuses and all that stuff was because my head was feeling stuffed up. I was feeling fairly stuffed up about life, and I think that's why I finished up and overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed, and therefore my head was full of stuff. And but anyway, thank you for coming along. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being here. And I better just have a little look at the time. Yes, okay. Thank you for being here. And I didn't, because I wasn't on air last week, I didn't get to say thank you to Telltale Tarot and Timothy's beautiful, beautiful puppy dog. And as he knows, I'm mad about puppy dogs too. I love you, darling, and I've got my arms around you, giving you a big hug for the people that you sent me, and I went in and listened and left a comment. I hope you got it. And I do watch your show. I love it. And I love what you're saying. I love you, darling. I do love you. And it's just wonderful that you're my other little earth angel here at the door, the older one. The little baby's asleep. I've moved her chair over there because I was feeling so crowded in I could hardly move. And so I moved her chair, and she immediately came in and got up into her bed and went off to sleep. Funny little things. So thank you, Jim. Thank you. And thank you to all of the new people who have come along and who are here listening to my, ramblings each week. But this week, the topic this week is Loomer. Laura Loomer. Oh dear. Oh, the more I watch all this stuff and the more I listen to it, I don't know whether I'm so bloody overwhelmed that I can't even think, or it's all incredulous, and I look at it all and think, God, have we gone mad? Where are we going? What are we doing? And trying to, we're all of us, aren't we? And you too, darlings, I'm sure of it. We're all, trying to keep our bloody sanity in the midst of it all. So, Loomer and Russian stuff that's going on. Here's another card. Ooh, okay, 10 of Cups, all these Cups cards coming out. We're going to take a look at that one as well. Laura Loomer, the Russian interference stuff, all that Russian rubbish that's going on. God, who would have thought about it? Am I living in a parallel universe? Or is this bloody Earth one? I feel like, I've been transported to a parallel universe or something. This isn't the one that I knew and grew up with. And it isn't, I have to tell you, it isn't the one I grew up with. It isn't the one that I know, and it isn't the one that I'm familiar with and understand. It absolutely isn't. It's a whole new world and a new time. And, I was just talking the other day to someone about, I was talking to someone the other day about the whole thing with when I was a kid, and my aunt, great aunt, actually, it was my grandmother's sister, my great aunt, and she lived across the road when we were kids, and we used to go over there mainly to get the lollies that she bought and put in jars, and she'd be sitting there with her shawl around her shoulder, in the kitchen sort of area of the house she lived in, hunched over, this little Bakelite radio. Far out. You know, when I used to hear people talk about things in that way, not exactly those things, but, reminisce about the past or talk about the past and their life and all that, I used to think, oh, God, that'll never be me. I'll never go on like that. I couldn't relate, a bit like the world I live in. I couldn't relate. But I hear myself, talking about and saying the same sorts of things and talking about things that, seem like they're way, 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 way in the past. Like, it is another world, it is another time, and it was certainly a different time to live in than the one we're living in now. So for those of us who have gotten a bit older and are now in our senior years, we'll call them, I think it is challenging, darling. So if you're going through a challenging time, I relate. Make comments. I don't mind. I just love your comments. I love the things that you say. And, don't feel like writing tomes or you're saying too much or whatever. I don't want you to feel like I don't want you to feel uncomfortable that, if you share, that's not what I'm asking you to do. I don't want you to do anything you're uncomfortable with. If you're uncomfortable sharing, whatever, or anything about yourself, then, I get it, because people try, all the nonsense that goes on. We've become very reticent. Not me so much, darlings. I tend to say things, and then whoever, if people make comments, as I've said to you before, I don't give a damn. It's all BS when they're trolling you and they go on with all sorts of stuff. It's just BS. I sort of sometimes feel like I could say to people, oh, for goodness sake, where's your intelligence? We're such amazing beings. We're so spectacular. We're so amazing. And yet we allow ourselves to be less amazing. We allow ourselves to be caught up in and swayed by the lesser part of ourselves. And that upsets me, because I think, don't do that. Stay in fabulousness. Stay in, your wonderful life. Stay in, all the really amazing and spectacular parts of yourself. And, look, I, I'm always looking at, doing things. Tell me what you've been looking at. Tell me the sorts of things that you've been thinking about you might do. Don't get caught up in, I'm still shuffling I won't say the word, I'm shuffling the spots off these cards. I'm shuffling them so bloody much. I'll get to the thing in a minute. You'll probably think I'm rambling today, but I've missed you, and I just, I guess I'm just sort of having a chat with you. So, Martin, I know you'll understand, darling. Martin in England, Chrissy, Mandy, all my darlings, Suzanne. There's so many of you. I know you'll understand, and yeah. Anyway, let me do a little bit of this. I want to talk about, and I want to do a reading around this Laura Loomer woman. Gee, I never thought there were so many bloody nuts in the world. and that, you know, this bloke Trump could attract them all. Well, I suppose like attracts like. That's true. I do know that. I've got my eyes closed. And I'm going, Laura Loomer, Laura Loomer. What are we about? What's going on with this bird, Laura Loomer, and Trumpy? What's going on there? What's happening there? This card just fell out. Oh, a few cards. Ooh, okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. All right. I'll read those ones because I'm going to show them to you. You know that the first card that came out was the Five of Cups. This is the Five of Cups, Ten of Cups again, all these Cups cards. You know, here, Cups, the Fool. I love the Fool card, and the Ace of Swords. So I'm going to read this. The first thing that came out to me when I was thinking about Laura Loomer, Laura Loomer, Laura Loomer, the thing that came out with it, that this Ace of Swords. So I'm going to read it as being, she's playing mind games. This is all mind games. She's playing mind games. She's projecting herself as this, you know, this person who's on the side of Trump, and she's, you know, she's all about him, and, you know, holding his hand, staring into his eyes, and, you know, making out that she's, you know, I care about you, I care about you, you're for me, you're for me, you're for me. It's a crock of BS. She doesn't. That's not what she's about. She's all about this opportunity, one, to set herself up, that if he does happen to win, they're all about that. They're all about if he happens to win. They're not letting go of the ship. They're not jumping ship. None of them, not the GOP, not anybody. None of them are jumping ship. And the reason that they're not is they're hanging on to what if, the what if thing. What if he wins? And this is all this stuff coming to me. It's going to run out of my mouth because it's coming in just downloading. None of them are going to jump ship. If you're waiting for them to jump ship, they're not going to, because they're all hoping of hopes of hopes. They're hanging there. They're hanging their, you know, their badge out. They're hanging themselves, hanging. I can see them all like as if, you know, he's the Pied Piper, and then they're all hanging off him. You know, he's going to, you know, he's going to take them all, and he's going to make them hugely successful, and they're going to have amazing lives, and they don't give a shit what happens to the rest of the Americans or the rest of anybody for that matter. They don't give a damn. What do they care? I just have to straighten my shirt up because it's driving me a bit nutty here. They're all, you know, they don't care. They don't care. They're all about themselves. So they don't care about anybody else. So if we're waiting for them to care, or if you're waiting for them to care, oh, God, you'll go blue in the face, as I used to say to the kids. Don't hold your breath. You'll go blue in the bloody face. This is her, Laura Loomer. Now, the Fool card, this Fool card comes out, and when it came out today, around her, it's all about, well, she is a fool. I mean, let's read it as it is. She's a fool. She's a fool. And she's playing a fool's game. I'm going to say that. She's playing a fool's game. She's a fool. She's doing, you know, what she's on about, what all the, she's a fool. However, she's playing calculated fool games, like I said, you know, in the beginning there. And it's all around what she can get. It's all around the maybe the amazing job that might come out of it. But she sure is about the money. She's about the, you know, she's about the riches. That's the word that's coming to me. Thank you. She's about the riches. She's about what she's going to get out of it. She's hoping that she's going to get a heap out of it. But The card also says to me that be very, very careful, Laura Loomer. Be very, very careful. All that glitters is not gold. Okay. Um, the card here around this one here is about family values and things like that. She has no family values. She has no, oh, where did this woman come from? Did she have a family? Obviously she was, she had a family somewhere at some time. Who are they and what do they think about her? This is about family values and she doesn't have any, right? She has no family values. There's nothing about families, middle class family. It's nothing about anybody else, love. This is all about her, all about her. And, she's, yes, she's gone off and chained herself to, things in the past, and she's chained herself to this whole situation as well. She's chained up in that, and this is a sad outcome. There's a very, very sad outcome for this woman. Very sad outcome, because there are people who use people and we know who they are, and when they're done and dusted, regardless of what she's been up to, what hanky-panky or whatever else she's up to with Donald Trump, Citizen Trump as I call him, she'll get cast aside. He's not interested in her. She's stroking his ego at the moment, and he's into that. He's a narcissistic sociopath, and I'm calling it as it is. I've held back for a little while, but I'm going to call it as it is. He's a narcissistic sociopath, and Americans have to stand up against him, because we all do. We've got to stand up against these people who want to tear down how we live and what we do. And that's not about, look, we're all in the boat. Oh, I get it. I hear the whinging and the bitching and the whining about prices are high and, we're struggling and this and that. Well, we're all in the same boat, love. We're all in the same boat. Gosh, I was thinking recently, I was looking at all of the things that, I've been doing over this last few years, and I was looking at, finances and money, and when you're moving, you look at things, and I'm thinking, we don't talk in hundreds anymore. We talk in thousands. When we go to pay gas bills, they're not hundreds, they're 1,000. When we go to move, they're not hundreds, they're in the thousands. Everything. It's like, you just go, what the, I feel like, I'm playing with bloody, buttons or something, it's like money doesn't mean anything anymore. But it does, and life is worth living, and this is about how we face up to it, what we do with it, and the sorts of things that, we can change and find, ways to live. And there's plenty of opportunities. I mean, we're living in, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if there wasn't an opportunity that has existed for me to, be able to learn about the technology, be able to do things. And 10 years ago, I wouldn't be doing this today. One is I probably wouldn't have the audience. And the other thing is, I wouldn't have known anything about it. I didn't know about all this bloody stuff 10 years ago. And I've taught myself new and different things, and you can too. So if you're feeling a bit like, oh, pardon me, where are we going? What are we doing? Don't, because I'm here to tell you there's lots of opportunities, and there's plenty of things to do, and there's plenty of ways to do things. Look at what your interest is, and the sorts of things that, pardon me, this whole area of cooperation and co-creation really excites me, because, I was thinking about someone recently. I suppose because I'm a consummate entrepreneur, I'm always looking at, I always see opportunities for people. So often I have people say to me, oh, I'd like to do, or la, 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 la. Straight away into my head pops, what they could be doing and how they could be doing that. And I'm always coming up with ideas and coming up with things. So any questions, ask me, because you never know. I mean, it's good that we all get our heads together and we brainstorm, because ask me questions. If you're wanting to do something, if you're wanting to put something together, if you're wanting to, if you've got an idea and you're thinking, well, how would I do that? Put it up, because we've got a good following of people, and we've got, a good amount of subscribers. I'm pushing on to get to the 4,000 and onwards and upwards. And, put it in there, because, somebody else will have an idea, and that's called co-creation and cooperation. And we were talking about this recently. And I was saying about, when, Telltale Tarot sent all those wonderful people along to watch my show as well, I was so excited, and I was so touched by that. And I thought to myself, isn't it wonderful that we can co-create together and we can do things? So if you haven't heard of him, or you didn't read the comments and you don't know about him, Telltale Tarot, Tim and Alfie, go over there and, click on and support him. Give him a like, give him a, go in there and subscribe and support him, because he's, there with his puppy dog. He's making something of his life, and I want us to all support one another. I think this is a great community for uplifting one another and supporting one another. Okay, what are we up to? Oh, close your eyes again, have a little, feel into this, the energies around this whole Russian interference, this whole nonsense of this Russian television, or whatever it was that they had, the one that's interfering in everything and got all these, extreme people saying all sorts of things that aren't true. And we'll go to that in a minute, like the cats and dogs. But the whole thing with the Russian. Now, what's going on with the Russian interference and the meddling? There's this meddling going on. Why are they meddling? What are they wanting to influence? Are they trying to influence stuff for their mate Trumpy? Or are they simply doing it because they can, and they want to see how far they can push the envelope, and what are they learning? Something's coming about. It's a learning curve for them. They're looking at how they do things, how they infiltrate, and in what way they can do that, and in what way they can interfere at levels that they haven't done it yet. Oh, that's interesting. Let's take a look at that. Okay, cards out. Oh, okay, yep. Mind games. Oh, yes. Okay, what came out? Ace of Wands, Judgment card. Oh, I love it. Eight of Swords, love it. And this gorgeous, gorgeous lady here, Pentacles, this standing over this is Kamala Harris, this. Okay, go back. So let's look at the Russian stuff. Okay, well, of course, I'm going to read it as being, and I said it a few minutes ago when I was going through, calling for the assistance and some, help on the reading of it. And this card here is the Ace of Wands. Wands are about new growth and things, and I said it. They're looking for opportunities. These Russian things, this whole Russian thing, this interference. They're looking for opportunity. They're looking for the opportunity to interfere, and they're looking for additional opportunities where they might influence and interfere in American politics. Yeah. Why? Because they're pissed off. Because they're angry about the sanctions. They're angry about America helping the Ukraine. They're angry about the stance that America has taken in relation to their interference and wanting to take over another country. They're pissed. And so they're looking for opportunities to interfere. And it's all mind games. It's all the mind games. And they've, trying to, they're not only in the mind games themselves, but they're getting people wound up and caught up in. And the last part of the reading I was going to be doing was the thing around the cats and dogs, the whole crap, rubbish, BS around eating, the people coming in across the border eating the animals and the whatever else they can get their hands on. Oh, Jesus. Do we really believe it? This is the card about, do you really buy it? Do you really believe it? I mean, I don't want to say it, darlings, but if we're the only bloody sane people in the world down under, we're sitting here going, you got to be kidding me. You really believe all this BS? Call it as it is. It's bullshit, isn't it? I mean, you really believe it? Getting all caught up, wound up in all this nonsense? Okay. This card here is judgment. There is a day of judgment for all of this. And it is election time, and it is coming. I'm going to put a couple of more cards out on that in a minute. And this is Kamala Harris. And this gorgeous, gorgeous woman here who is all about the money, the economy, opportunity, getting things opened up for the average person in America to improve their life and have the opportunity. Look, I always said this. You can give somebody a hand up or you can give them a handout. Now, if you only give handouts, you've changed nothing, because people will rely on further handouts. You've got to give them a hand up and show them better ways to do things. And in so doing, provide them with the tools. I remember many, many, many years ago, too many years ago now, darlings, when I was in my 30s, and I remember somebody saying, if you teach somebody to earn $100, they'll figure out how to make 1,000. And I've always thought of that, and I've lived my life on that. If I get the skills, if I'm looking for new skills, if I learn some things, and you show me how to do something, then I'll turn it into something worthwhile. So as long as I'm free and I have the freedom to do that, get this, I hope you're listening, as long as you have the freedom to do it, you can change it. The cats and dogs story is nonsense, absolute bloody nonsense, blaming all those poor people. I mean, America's full of immigrants, just like bloody Australia is. I came from immigrants. I mean, the people who came into Australia, my family, my forefathers, you know, I suppose they were all bloody convicts originally. They came in here for knocking off a loaf of bread, and they ended up here in Australia, you know, building lives for themselves, and they haven't done too bloody bad at that. And, you know, time has gone on, but we're a nation of immigrants as well. And who isn't? Who isn't? And I get it, you know, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's true. There was an opportunity to create better border things, but, you know, Trump got involved in it and he got it, you know, all kicked aside and pushed aside so he'd have something to run on. Now, him and his other sidekick, the lunatic, oh God, talk about a pair of lunatics. You know, they're off and running now. They're making up stories about the immigrants who were asked to come. They came out of countries, they came into areas to build that other bloody people. It's like when I was a kid. Here in Australia, we were doing pretty damn well. And, you know, Greeks and Italians came into Australia and they came in from farms and areas where, you know, they were used to working bloody hard. They got here and they worked in the factories and all of that. And I can remember as a kid, people saying, oh, they're taking, you know, they're taking our jobs. They're taking the Aussies' jobs. It was a crock of BS. They didn't take our bloody jobs. They were doing the jobs that we as lazy buggers wouldn't do. Oh, don't get me started. Okay, all right, now. Oh, well, not surprised. Absolutely. All right. Okay, here we go. Three of Wands, the Devil card, and this one, I want to tell you what these cards are about in relation to all of this, is that don't become impoverished and don't allow impoverished thinking to take over your mind, right? Don't let somebody else tell you you're all doing so bloody bad. They're going to pull the plug and the place is going to sink and you're all going to go down the gurgler. That isn't true. It's crap. It's BS. It's rubbish. It's made up nonsense. And it's true. What is true is this. Tell you how bad it is, and when they get in, they'll make sure it is. Don't get into that. The Devil card is all about, it doesn't surprise me that it came out. The Devil card here is about feeling tied up and caught up in the nonsense, and you're not, if you choose not to be. Okay? Opportunity abounds, opportunities coming. There are amazing, amazing things for the future. Open your minds, open your hearts, expand your thinking, get your act together, and look at your life and think about what do you want? What do you want to do? How do you want your life to look? Where do you want it to go? What sort of things in your life do you want? Now, look, if I can do it at my bloody age, you can do it at yours. So don't give me any nonsense about, oh, it's too late, or if you had it, or that's rubbish. It's rubbish. There is so much available, so much we can do, so much available to you. Now, this week is Idea Week. I want you to share your ideas and see who else has got good input into that and who might want to share. And I'm putting my hand up and I'll certainly give you some feedback and I'll share as well. So next week is going to be all about giving you ideas for you. So if you want to share them, That's what next week's going to be about. I'm really keen. I'm a great entrepreneur. I'm a great one for, making money and doing things. Next week, we're going to work on those things, and I'm going to help you with that. Put your comments below, and I love you. I love you. I love you. And thank you again for being there. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being around. And, look, all this other stuff, this too will pass. And it is time, and it's a wonderful thing, a wonderful, wonderful thing to have joy in your lives and have something to look forward to. It is time to turn the page. And say what Kamala Harris says. It's time to turn the page on all of the nonsense, all the rubbish. It's time to move on. It's time to turn the page. It's time to welcome with open arms and grab it, grab the opportunities that present themselves in your life. I'll see you next week on Wednesdays with Wallis. Let's see if I can get back on track a bit with days and timing and that sort of thing. Doing my best with that. I'm in the midst of a lot of stuff, kiddies. Okay, love. Talk to you soon, my darlings. Bye for now.